today I want to take you through my completed 2023, there goes my printer, 2023 One Little Word album. It's totally done, and I'm excited to show you what I did last year with the word listen. This is the album that was part of the collection for 2023, I believe. I'm pretty sure this is the one. I've done One Little Word in 6x8 albums before. It's probably my preferred method, but I have also done it in traveler's notebooks, and I have done it in the journal. And this year I'm actually going to be, in 2024, I'm going to be using a disc-bound, handmade album. So 6x8 album from Ali Edwards, and my word was listen. So on the inside cover, I cut out the word listen with my silhouette 3 different times, and then glued it together and glued it to the inside of the album. This first page is a vellum transparency with the heart, and then I made this, I think probably using Studio app and One Little Word to get that on there. Printed it out and put it on. So I use this paper to, and actually I could go back and fill this out because I do have more, I know, in my phone. So I had a running list in my phone of times when the word listen presented itself to me, and I just jotted them down in my phone with the date, and I know I have some more, so I do need to fill that back out. But just small little things. Yeah, really liked being constantly on the lookout for my word all year round. Now, like, did I slack on this sometimes? Yes. But like, I think it turned out really cute, and it did keep me, you know, constantly thinking about my word all year long. On the back I have, this is a fabric heart and just some labels, cork heart. And then each month I tried to take a selfie, and I took those selfies and I printed them on my little Instax camera, Instax printer actually, on Polaroids, and then stamped them with Versamark with the month, each month. And then on the back, just cut up some scrapbook paper and put it on there. This was a just a little piece of watercolor art that I did this year. I did a lot of art, and I'm super excited to be painting and doing more creative things with my hands, and just making things. So I wanted to include that. I put it on there with some foam stickers, and then just a little vellum from the kit. This is the transparencies that came with the album. And then this is actually my bracelet that I wore all year long. It's starting to get a little bit threadbare, but I kept the card that it came on, so it says listen in Morse code, and it has the Morse code alphabet on there. And let's just see, I can't, Rustic Heart is where I got that from, rusticheart.com. But it was an Etsy shop, and I initially was going to make one myself because I actually do like to make bracelets, but I found this one and it was just so pretty. This year, I can't remember where I got my bracelet from, but I got another Morse code bracelet that I'm going to be wearing, and it's just totally beaded. My word this year is present. So just wanted to put that in there, and these are the quotes and my feelings, reason why, what I'm inviting, defining, and my intentions, the year ahead. And then this was actually a Instagram motivational type thing that was all about listening. So I saved it and put it in this grid template and just printed it and put it in there. Every month I use these monthly cards and just would write a note to myself about where we were, what was going on, and kind of a pep talk. Then February was making a manifesto, and so I used another vellum page and embellished it. And then I actually made my manifesto in one of my favorite apps. It was Wordswag. I took a selfie with one of my favorite paintings in our house behind me and just put all of the things that I am hoping to manifest for the year on there. And then another note to myself, and I think these were actually from self-care or maybe the XO story kit, and put those in there. March was a conversation with our word. Looks like there's some glue stuck to that. Looks like maybe that stuck to it. And I just quite literally printed it out. I stamped this and cut it out, put some embellishment paper on there, and then a label with the date. And then this was my poem. I, once again, literally printed out my conversation bigger and cut it up into little snippets and made my poem. So that's a really fun way to actually make a poem. My note to self, and I decorated that with 5 things, and these are just those puffy word phrase stickers, things to remind myself of April. Once again, my note to self. And so sometimes I would do these at the beginning of the month. Sometimes I would do them at the end of the month, but I always dated them. Sometimes I put them at the beginning of the month in the album, other times at the end, just kind of wherever I felt like putting it in there. These were those story cards, and once again, I used my Instax printer to print off. This was photographing the feeling of your words. So these are all of the things that represented listening to me. These don't fit in, they're not 3x4. The story cards weren't, and obviously neither are the Instax. So I put them in there, squeezed them together, and then stitched on either side. And then this is actually, everything kept wanting to fall out. So I went back and I started stapling things in, and this seals up these two. So it's just a fabric sticker there. Same thing on the back. May. This was another example of just throughout the year, if I saw something on Pinterest or Instagram, I would just print it out and put it in my album. So I really loved this and wanted to include it in there. So just embellished it and stuck it in. Same thing, another thing from Pinterest, probably, that I embellished with hearts, and I covered, it said listen to your own voice, but I covered it with similar to what's on the front. I made little stickers with my word. This is fun. I actually embossed this. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but if you print on vellum and while the ink is still wet, you can put clear embossing powder over the top of it and actually just emboss whatever you print off. So it has this really fun texture and just kind of glistens. So that's really fun, really pretty. This was, what month are we in? May was saying yes to. So I just made cards digitally. I put this on, I think there's a reel on my Instagram that shows me doing this. I recolored the saying yes to stamp. I did this in Wordswag, and I actually made more than 8 of them. I got a little carried away, but then I just chose my favorite ones, put them in a template in Project Life app that was 2x2, and printed them out. So simple. May, this was, so once again, my May card and my June card, I wrote on the same day. So on June 30th, I obviously got behind and wrote myself a note and just glued them back to back. So now we're on to June. June is when we check in, our halfway point, and so filled out the prompt pages and just embellished them. This is a Ali Edwards stamp. I did some embossing, so the black is the embossing, and some of the word phrase stickers, and this just turned out really pretty. This was a, oh, I bought a, it's a punch board. I'm not even sure where that went. It's a punch board by We Are Memory Keepers, and you can punch out different letters. So I really started doing a whole lot more art. This is really textural. I did a master board of just art, and this is a jelly print that kind of had the same colors. And I punched this out with that punch board just because I wanted to play with it. I wish I knew where it was. I'm gonna have to find that. And then I took a gold marker and outlined it. It's actually one of the same gold, it is the same gold marker that I used on this piece of art. So yeah, that turned out really cool. So this is where I start getting a little more artsy, and I just loved it. And I did a lot of it in my one little word album because I just wasn't sure where to put some of this stuff. And now I'm starting to hang stuff on my walls, and I just, yeah, this is cool. Okay, so July was writing a postcard to your word and having your postcard or your word write a postcard to you. And so I stamped this. This is the Laura Wansick stamp, and then this is just a variety of stamps. I think we have like Carrie, is it Carrie Bradford and Heidi Swap and Allie Edwards and maybe another Carrie Bradford. I'm not even sure where all of these from. So all different types of stamping on those. And I love that I actually did put these in the mail. So they came back to me and I wrote myself little messages, and just super, super duper fun with the date and the postmark and everything on there. Okay, then this I also stamped out. I did some more stamping. I was doing a lot of stamping and watercoloring, but I actually just did like some Tim Holtz, what is it, Distress Oxide ink, and sprayed it with water so that it would flow really well over these. And that is just a whole bunch of stamping. This was very therapeutic, just going through all of my one little word stamps and label stamps, and this whole thing is just stamped out. On the back, I did fodder challenge, and it was so much fun. And I made this cool little, once again, message to myself that flips open and close. And this was some of the stuff that we made in the class. And yeah, lots of fun there. Here's that masterboard coming in again that I painted, and I think I may have done that for fodder school too. Even though it was in August, I think I went back and added that into July. Yeah, okay. August was Begin Again, so I did something very similar. I think Allie Edwards did something like this. I just put these on a grid, stapled everything on there. These are actually some butterflies that are several layers of chipboard glued together, but I embossed those, so those turned out really pretty. My note to self in August. So that was it for August. Like, there wasn't very much to it, and I like months like that. That's totally fine. I also have really involved months. September, this was something that I saw on Instagram. I don't remember who to give credit to, but really loved that poem, and it of course had my word in it, so keeping that. Facts and Feelings, I used the story play paper for Facts and Feelings, and I did the I think I did the numbers in Wordswag. Then I hand wrote this, but stitched up here, and then my progress, or my, oh gosh, what do we call it? Whatever I was keeping track of, my habit that I was doing for the month of September was creativity. So I wanted to dedicate a little bit of time each day to do something creative. It didn't have to be grand. It didn't have to be big, just something small. And I mean, just as small as sitting down and drawing with my daughter on these fun little rainbow scratch pads. More art that I just threw in there. This is packaging, some tape, and just talking about how much fun I had doing the creative challenge. October, I have, I think, was this from the mini kit? It had to have been from the mini kit. So on the back, I have these that each fold up. This is all the good stuff that I took photos of. Here's more good stuff. These slide out. So I hand wrote little journaling underneath and attached those with a Brad. That turned out really cute. And then I tea stained that, which was fun. Now that I'm looking back, I couldn't remember when I did this. So this was obviously in October. I've got a pile of these coffee tea stained, actually it was coffee. I coffee stained everything, lots of paper, had it drying all over my kitchen. My husband kind of thought I had lost my mind. Then I went and I actually just hand cut these out of the black and white paper and then lined them with the gold marker. So that turned out really pretty. Another note to myself. November, I did 30 days of gratitude. I do that every year, and I've never thought to put it in my December, or not in my December daily, in my one little word. But I like putting it in here. I think that's a really appropriate place to put it. I don't always even print it out, so I will try to keep that in mind next year, that I want to print this and put it in my one little word album, and just a message of how there are so many things to be grateful for. And then my note to self ended up in December, because I think I glued them back to back. Yep. So December is crazy, we all know. I printed out this little sentiment on vellum and put that in there. And then these are my reflections. I put these little cards together in little booklets and glued those down with some embellishment paper. And then just my remembering and just another funny little quote from Pinterest. So that's my listen album, my one little word for 2023. I really enjoyed this word. So if you're thinking about using listen, I would highly encourage you to. It was a really, really great word for me. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you back here next time.